Scorpio sun, moon, or rising. Pluto is going through Aquarius, and especially for Scorpio rising, this is a powerful time for you because it is placed in your angular fourth house, a very prominent and powerful placement for Pluto. So expect deep and powerful changes that will remold you into the person of the future. In this video, I break this transit down for you, so stick with me as I go through it all. Welcome, beloved souls. Welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Vivía, and this is my channel, Your Soul's Well, where I use astrology to help us navigate our shifting and exciting and sometimes turbulent world. I want to remind everybody, if you like the content I'm creating and you want me to create more content for you, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, and remember to hit the notification bell because I am uploading regularly and I would not want you to miss an upload. Scorpio, with Pluto going through Aquarius, this is in your fourth house. And for those of you who have your sun or your moon or your other placements in Scorpio, Pluto is squaring Scorpio. That is not an easy aspect. It's a challenging aspect, but it's going to bring up issues about yourself, perhaps your childhood, your inner psychology. You can watch my previous video on Pluto and the planets for a greater understanding about what Pluto will do as it comes into contact with each planet. For a better understanding of that, go there. But Pluto here, this is your house of home, and it's your house of foundation. It's your house of inner security. So with Pluto going through this house, so remember, Pluto is the planet that destructs in order to reconstruct. It's going to be bringing up issues from your childhood that have not been dealt with. It's going to be delving deep. It's going to bring about for you a greater understanding of your own foundation, your roots, where you have come from. So over these decades, you will have greater knowledge, and even some of you might become obsessive about tracing your lineage and trying to figure out who you are and what makes you tick. The fourth house, it is the foundation of the chart. And with Pluto going through this house, there's going to be a deep transformation of self that happens here, of your roots, of your instincts. And for those of you going on this journey of exploring the authentic self, there's going to be a death and rebirth process in your sense of self. So because this is about your home, there may be issues that come up with your home and your home dynamics. It might bring up tensions, power struggles, and issues that come up with your family of your lineage, your family of origin. So there may be struggles, issues coming up from your early childhood, and your emotional security will be entwined in this as well. So as it's bringing things to the surface, your childhood, about your past situation, about the programming that you received or the parenting that you received or didn't receive as a child, as it's bringing this up, it's asking you to reevaluate it. It's asking you to look at things that have been buried, perhaps all of your life, things that you have not wanted to look at, perhaps we're not able to look at, we're not strong enough to look at, but now it's bringing them to the surface for you to see, for you to heal, for you to step onto your path in a bolder, more authentic way. So really, this is the most private part of the chart. And as Pluto is going through this part of your chart, it's really restructuring this part of your chart to build a greater foundation for you to step on for greater emotional security and stability. It does require your emotional honesty and authenticity during this time. It may bring about inner turmoil for some of you or some anxiety, and it may be necessary for some of you to reach out for help to others. Remember though, Pluto is also the planet of wealth. And so when it is going through your fourth house, the fourth house of land and investments and property, some of you might be investing into land that over time will accrue into great wealth for you. It might just amass into generational wealth that you may leave behind for others in your own family. So there is this potential here for Pluto. The potential to amass great wealth is before you, Scorpio. So use this opportunity wisely. Whatever is being broken down, though, remember it's being broken down to regenerate. And this part of your life, there's great regeneration possible here. So it is naturally a water house, a house of depth, a house itself of regeneration in its own water way. You'll be asked to let go of all that no longer serves, all those perhaps memories and ideations and beliefs and habits learned through childhood need to be let go now in order for you to embrace the newness that is before you, to establish your new foundation, to walk forward on your path. And this is all about your own inner security and stability. It's building stability, whether that's through your emotions or through perhaps investments of into land. Some of you may be moving homes with Pluto going through your fourth house, especially if it is passing over the cusp of the fourth house, which it may or may not be. If you look at this through the Placidus or other house lens, it might be crossing that, or it may have already. And so especially if it is, generally it is a good indication of changing homes, or perhaps even parents leaving this mortal realm and things fluctuating in your life. So be prepared for a lot of change, Scorpio, because it's really in the cards for you. Some Scorpios might feel the need to break away from family, home, and from those that they feel hold them back or restrict them, or even the community that you grew up in, your surroundings that nurtured you into who you are, because it's really time now to step into your own power and authenticity. This transit has a lot to do with understanding your own personal psychology, coming into a great deal of awareness about who you are, your psychological makeup, and hang-ups. So just be aware of this. Be aware that this might not be an easy transit, but once it is done, you will look back and be grateful for the work that you did and the deepening of self that will come. Remember, it's all about building that strong foundation and inner security right now. And your strong foundation may deal also with land and the home that you live in. Some of you, because Pluto is a planet of wealth and power, may just come into wealth through land or home ownership or investments into property. This is what the astrology is showing. So now, Scorpio, I'm just going to show you your chart. So this is the ingress chart for Pluto. When it last made its last ingress, it was actually on the 19th here of November of 2024. It's here in your fourth house, where it will stay for 20 years. Now you can see here, there's a square here to your first house. So again, it's a challenging aspect. So if you have any planets in Scorpio, it's going to create tension, but this tension is going to bring out the best in you because it's going to force you to work on the things that are being brought up for you to work on. The next date that I would like to point out is when Mars opposed Pluto on November 2nd of 2024. So just take a note of this date. The second time that Mars opposed Pluto was on January 3rd of 2024. And again, just reflect on these dates. Did anything happen? It would have been here in your 10th house. It's a very public house, a house of status and recognition of your reputation, perhaps your career, if those of you who have a career, and here in your house of home. So was there any tension here? Were there any type of aggression or a blowout maybe happened? Because it's going to happen one more time here in this cycle of Mars on April 26th of 2025. So I'm just letting you know to just be aware so that you understand that this energy is coming in again, and to be aware of how to deal with it. We're always given more opportunities by spirit or the universe, however you would like to relate to that, to do things over again, to show up better, to learn from our mistakes. And so if there was any type of impulsive or reactive behavior during those previous two dates that I just mentioned, this is going to be one last time, perhaps to rectify it or do it in a more empowered way. Both of these planets want your empowerment. And so just know that that's on the table here coming on January 21st here, 2025. The sun is conjuncting Pluto, and this creates a synodic cycle. The sun will go around once a year, every year, and connect with Pluto, but this is the first one, and it just set off the energy here for the sun. And the sun illuminates whatever it's touching. It brings vitality and energy. And here's Pluto here in this fourth house, this powerful planet, this magnetizer planet. So it's just emboldening something here and allowing it to come into its power, perhaps showing you things already of your own psychology, or perhaps things that are not working for you. So that's just one day again to reflect on, and just to know that this is the synodic cycle starting here for you. On March 30th, Neptune is going to ingress Aries. It's happening here in your sixth house. So it's at the 0 degrees Aries point. And this is going to be shortly after, 10 days after the spring equinox here, when the sun is also at the 0 degrees Aries. And then on May 25th of this year, Saturn is going to ingress here as well. So there's lots of stimulation of the Aries point, and the 0 point of Aries is very important because it's considered the creation point. It's this cardinal point, and there is basically a rebirth happening for all of the collective, for all of the earth. And then for yourself, beloved, it's happening here in your sixth house. So this is your daily house. It's your house of work. It's your house, your daily health habits. It's your house that if you are an an employee or are employed. So something very new is being birthed here for you, and just lots of energy and lots of information coming in here for you to be able to really utilize this part of your life, this part of your house. So for some of you, it might be completely new work. For some of you, it may be embracing new health habits, new everyday habits that help you evolve on your path, becoming better at being you. Some of you, it might be a pivot in work, a more evolved person that can put things into action, because that is Aries, and that is your 6th house of work and daily habits. So expect change there over the next few years. On June 9th, Jupiter is going to ingress Cancer here in your 9th house. So this is great because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, meaning it can work at its fullest. So it expands and it brings benevolence, and it's up here in your 9th house. Now, I did a whole video on the nodes, and I talked at length about Jupiter, so you may want to go watch it. So Jupiter in Cancer is here in of your 9th house of education and higher knowledge and spirituality and faith, but it's also going to be forming what is called an inconjunction here to Pluto. An inconjunction brings up patterns that are underneath the surface, things that are not that visible, things that are just more hidden. And Pluto is already hidden, and it's already in your 4th house. So I think that this is going to magnify a lot for a lot of Scorpio risings, a lot of stuff during childhood, during your early life, during perhaps your lineage, all those themes and topics I mentioned, your family of origin, perhaps even where you're currently living. Things that are not working are really going to be amplified in this time period. And Jupiter is up here in your 9th house for a whole year. So that's how I see it playing out here with Pluto. And then there will be more, and I'll do another video on Jupiter when we get closer to this date. On July 7th, Uranus is going to ingress Gemini here into your 8th house. So Uranus is a planet of change, and it's unconventional. It's very future thinking. It'll be here in your 8th house. But as it applies here to Pluto, it will be forming these houses will be in trine. So there's going to be lots of communication and flow between your 8th house here of other people's resources, as well as your own house here of foundation and home and family life. And maybe some sudden insights or sudden information about the 4th house and the 8th house. On August 12th of this year, 2025, Uranus will form a trine. It'll be 1 degree away, just doubling down on those themes I just mentioned, like perhaps sudden insights, sudden downloads about how to deal with a home situation, perhaps moving, perhaps buying land. And maybe for some of you, it'll be investments in land and property through other people's resources coming in here, just complete and sudden changes. That's what Uranus represents, but that can help us move forward on our path of evolution. On September 1st of 2025, Saturn will retrograde back into Pisces. It's right here in your 5th house. And then shortly after that, on October 23rd of this year, Neptune will then retrograde back as well into Pisces, and that's going to be in your 5th house. So it's just opportunities to tie up loose ends, finish up the dealings here of your 5th house from the perspective of Neptune and Saturn. All right. So this is your house of creativity, of romance, of adventure. It's your heart. It's your joy. It's also risk taking. This is a very auspicious day that I'd like to point out to everybody. On July 18th here, we're going to have 4 planets at 4 degrees. Here's Jupiter here at 4 degrees of Leo, Uranus here at 4 degrees of Gemini. We have Neptune at 4 degrees of Aries, and Pluto at 4 degrees of Aquarius. Now the moon will be also at 4 degrees for a brief time in Libra, but so there's all this benevolent energy. Jupiter is sextiling Uranus, Uranus is sextiling Neptune, Neptune is sextiling Pluto, and the moon is also in sextile here to Jupiter for a brief moment of time. Jupiter and Neptune are in a trine, Uranus and Pluto are in a trine, and the moon and Uranus are trining one another. So just lots of flow between all of these planets, and just lots of incoming energy, and just it's going to be a very creative day, but also there's a very creative time with lots of flow and abundance coming in, opportunity and inspiration. And here is Jupiter opposing Pluto though. Okay, that's the only real hard aspect. And remember that Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and Pluto is the underworld. It's showing us things that are hidden. So that's here in your 4th house. So up here in your 10th house, maybe something that might happen very publicly for you, going to be exposed here in your 4th house of family and roots, something just being highlighted and shown. Just be aware of that date. So it could deal with any of those themes I have already mentioned about the 4th house. And then finally on July 26th of 2026, the nodes move. The North Node moves into your 4th house of Aquarius, where it will be with Pluto for a year and a half. And the South Node will move into your 10th house. Of course, I'll do videos on those as we approach those dates. But all in all, I think this is going to be such an amazing time, a very deep and profound and restorative time for Scorpios, a wealth maximizing time for many of you, a time of great empowerment through the self, obviously. But I just want to also point out some of the challenges that Pluto going through Aquarius may mean for Scorpios, because it's also like squaring your sign, Scorpio. So there's going to be a lot of uncomfortable stuff coming up for you about self, and a lot of changes that need to happen. Remember, surrendering to Pluto is always going to be better. There may be conflict in relationships, especially those relationships that relate to that 4th house of family and home. But it's always going to be worth it to work it through to the best of your ability, to try not to resist Pluto, try to surrender to Pluto and to witness what Pluto is bringing up for you, and work with what's being presented to transform it for all and the best for all involved. Wherever Pluto is, it can indicate trauma. So maybe some trauma coming up from home or trauma happening in the home. Again, things just to pay attention to. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. It's certainly not going to happen for everybody. Everybody's chart is different. Some of you might experience isolation from family because that's what Pluto represents, and some of you might experience rejection from your family or family members or family of origin or a living situation. So this is a form perhaps of something being broken down and shown to you, something that is not working anymore for your highest good. And again, Pluto only wants to break down what is not working in order to build something up that will work in your best interest for your highest evolutionary path. Pluto deals all with our evolution and our evolutionary path. Pluto is here in your 4th house. There, you might magnetize very powerful people through your 4th house dealings that may help you on your path. And one of those ways might be through transference of wealth or accumulation of wealth through property or land. Remember, the best way is just to let go of anything that is no longer serving, any type of belief system, any type of restraints that you have had on yourself, any conditioning from your past, any relationships that are not working anymore. Just release them and surrender them to the divine and allow the new information in so that you can proceed on your higher path, because this is all about transformation for you, Scorpio, so that you can emerge into the powerful being that you are. Some of you might be doing this transformation and healing through developing solid financial security. Some of you, it'll be the inner psychological security. For some of you, will be putting roots down into homes through family, perhaps creating your own family. So there's many options, and it will be different for everybody. But just know that this is a powerful period for you, Scorpio. Use this time wisely to do the things that you need to do through the next 20 years for your growth. Because as you strengthen this foundation of yours, however you see fit to do it, maybe in all of those ways for some of you, it will help you move forward on your path. Such strength and power and confidence and integrity. Pluto is a planet that can isolate us. So for it being there in your 4th house, for those of you that it is there in your 4th house, some of you might just want to isolate at home and be away from other people and just shelter and take care of yourself and just do what you need to do to take care of yourself. So be aware that this might happen for some of you. Your desire for time alone, for private time, might really increase. I can see that happening too when Jupiter is opposing Pluto, just an expansion of a pull between being out in public life, but also being private and at home. Scorpio, that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Stay blessed, beloved, and I will see you on the next video.